The suspect believed to be responsible for the brutal attack on Rachel Morin has been released by the Hartford County Sheriff's Department. Please take a look and pass this around as you learn a little more about Rachel Morin.
This DNA evidence has come back as a match. Unfortunately, that suspect has not been positively identified, but he did leave behind his DNA. Everyone with the same goal: find the killer and bring justice to Rachel.
This is a beautiful 37-year-old woman, a mother of 5, just recently in a new relationship with Richard Tobin, and came out here early one evening for a jog on August 5th and never made it back home again. I just wanted to let you know we made it to the tunnels where Rachel Morin lost her life on August 5th in a brutal attack by a monster.
The Hartford County Sheriff's Office has been working around the clock to get justice for Rachel Morin and hopefully bring peace to her family. And in Rachel's case, DNA evidence was collected by our Forensic Services Unit
that was linked to her case by DNA from an assault of a little girl in LA. Her boyfriend, Richard Tobin, around 11:30 at night, upon her not answering the phone, not coming home, he was worried sick and called 911 to report his girlfriend, Rachel Morin, missing.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, I have to say it is becoming a much better day. What a day. That today is, a very upsetting day for Summer Wells. It's her 3-year milestone. And here we get some good news on a case that I truly thought would not be solved. I thought a person had gone back to Mexico, and I didn't know why law enforcement pretty much wasn't really advocating for anybody to locate this guy. I thought maybe he was in jail for something, something or the other. Rachel Morin, she was jogging in a park. She went to a park regularly. She took very good care of herself. She was 37 years old. I'm going off some memory here. And she had 5 children. This is what was really upsetting. She had just gotten into a new relationship, just a few months. And it seemed like that they were, very much in love. Of course, naturally, them being in a new relationship and her disappearing, naturally, everybody was side-eyeing the boyfriend. But it was very clear through DNA, once Rachel was found, which was the very next day, it was very clear through DNA that there was an assailant, an unknown assailant, but one that was not unknown to law enforcement. This assailant's DNA was associated with an assault of a 12-year-old girl in Los Angeles, California. And so although they didn't have the identity, the actual physical name, of the person, they did have the sampling of DNA that was matching another case. So by this arrest, we are actually solving 2 cases and one of an assault of a 12-year-old girl. So I want that to sink in. This was a very, very rough case because nobody knew what happened, and the brutality of this, the absolute brutality. I'm going to try to find something because this is just now literally just breaking. And what the news to have on the day of Summer Wells, such a tragic day. And, although Rachel's gone as well, but what good news, what amazing news that we're having right now. This is concerning for a lot of people. I've got some videos here. Let me go ahead and share this. Hopefully it'll share over. It may not share. Actually, you know what? Let me do it this way. This is one of the first. Actually, do I want that one? Let's go to this one. Breaking update. The Memorial Walk. You guys should see the Memorial Walk. We were out there. We were out there for a while. I actually went live from there and took everybody on the journey with me through the park. It was, wow, that's pretty loud. It was beautiful. At night with everything lit up on the way, it was really beautiful. She touched a lot of people. She should never have been assaulted. Guys, there was people in this park. It's not like this park was desolate. There's people running all through the day. I was out there literally day and night for 2 days, just different times, just to see the lay of the land and everything like that. And there was just a lot of people that were out there. This shouldn't have happened. This had to have happened so quickly and so brutally. And I was sitting there thinking, like, how could somebody not hear like somebody squeal or scream? And when you start listening to the birds, there are some birds that mimic certain sounds. And I can tell you that if she would have screamed just ever so slightly, it could have been mistaken for a bird's chirp or a bird's caw. Because I heard some things out there that, obviously weren't people being hurt. So I can kind of see how that happened. And I can understand completely how anybody's guard's down there. Because, when we walk through there, I can tell you just walking in, seeing the, the flowers on either side, we're a little crazy. But they're saying right now, I'm trying to find a photo of this Victor Martinez Hernandez. He's from Oklahoma. I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then we'll start playing some videos of this case. Again, this is just a sad, sad case of a young, beautiful. She was beautiful, guys. She was a beautiful mom. She had 5 children. She was trying to keep them all. Thank you, Jen. God bless you. To keep them all in. And the sad part about that is the children are now all living in separate homes. This man destroyed kids' lives, not just the 12-year-old over in LA. So Victor Martinez Hernandez was arrested in Tulsa on Friday. Authorities have made an arrest in the killing of Rachel Morin, the Hartford County mother of 5, whose body was found near a popular hiking trail in August, according to the family. Victor Martinez Hernandez was arrested in Tulsa Friday night and booked into the jail early Saturday morning, according to the family and court records. He was charged with first-degree murder, first-degree R, according to Morin's family. The Hartford County Sheriff's Office would not confirm the arrest, but announced that Sheriff Jeffrey Gaylor would be providing an updated information on a major case on Saturday. Morin, 37, went for a run along the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail, Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air around 6 p.m. on August 5th. And never returned. Volunteers combing the woods found her body in a drainage culvert near the trail the following day. The killing of Morin, who owned a cleaning business and was a fitness enthusiast, galvanized sleepy Hartford County, where violent crime is rare. A few weeks later, the sheriff's office announced DNA found on Morin's body was linked to a suspect in a March 2023 home invasion in LA. A few details have been released on that incident, but investigators said they found matching DNA on a water bottle and a ball cap left at the home. So the arrest was made at, the booking time was 12:20 a.m. on 6/14, or his booking date was 6:15. So they must have picked him up. So it looks like 11:30 yesterday, last evening, and he was booked in this morning. The home, a home security showed a Latino male exiting a home. He appeared to be in his 20s, around 5'9", 160-pound. Oklahoma court records list Martinez as 5'8", 160 pounds. More information about Martinez will be coming. I have not seen a mugshot of him yet. I have not seen anything. I've been on all of these different platforms trying to locate any information. Hey guys, it's nice to see you. Thank you. Come on in. Just trying to find any information. So I'm just kind of updating. So 41 seconds ago, everybody's starting to drop. It's all starting to release that a man was arrested, but still no mugshot as of yet. Now, the Hartford County County Sheriff is just now posted here to stay tuned. The Sheriff's Office social media, or stay tuned to Sheriff's Office social media today. Sheriff Gaylor will be providing an updated information on a major case in Hartford. Additional details to follow. So this is related to Rachel Morin. We are monitoring this. I do absolutely 100% anticipate a press conference coming out about this. It is, I'm glad we're here, and it couldn't come on such a great day. It really couldn't. You know, I mean, this is really a horrible day for all of us, and this just kind of brightened this day up just a little. I don't know. It just makes me feel like there might be just a little bit of hope. You know,
Rachel Morin was murdered brutally by a monster.
So that I obviously my audio was pretty messed up on that. I'm like blowing my ears out. I'm like, geez, Louise. Yeah, there were some times when I would record on TikTok and I would save it and it wouldn't keep my volume adjusted. So it would turn on volume behind the when I muted the volume behind in the videos. But we have lots. We went for a walk. There's a lot here. Let me find something that I can play here for you guys. This is everything I've got is like, because I ran live with it. I wonder where my walk was. I did a walk with you guys live, memorial walk. This is only a minute. That's definitely not it. Let me look at my lives. Yeah, I think the only thing that we have is just that and my lives on it. I think the memorial walk I actually must have done on, I thought I did it on here. Did I do it on TikTok? I can't find it. If I did do it on here, I didn't label it right. This kind of sucks. I'll have to go back and look for it. But either way, guys, you guys hear, that's the breaking news. We've got an arrest on today. I have decided I'm going to run Summer's show tonight at 8 o'clock so you guys can come back and see the show. We were having a lot of technical difficulties with StreamYard, and it was just not the morning for me. But I've got some coffee in me. I put some water on my face, and we got some good news today. So it put a little, wind in my sails. I mean, to have a bad guy that brutalized, this woman, and not only that, but a 12-year-old child, and the pain that both of those have had on both families from one side of this country to another. And God knows what else he's involved in. I'm interested in learning more about this suspect. We will, if there is a press conference, we will go live with it. If anybody hears of the press conference, I'm staying on the Hartford County, TikTok, or not TikTok. That'd be interesting if they did have a TikTok. but their Twitter page. And so 31 minutes ago, it just said, Sheriff Gaylor will be providing a media update on Rachel Morin homicide today at 2 p.m. Do you think we have enough wind in our lungs to kind of hang around until 2 p.m.? Should we change it to update press conference? I'm kind of trying to figure out, we could kind of get some updates. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide, because it's like an hour and a half away. You guys we may have to take a break for a second so I can get situated, because I wasn't planning on being here for 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe I'll run the press conference on Crime Stories side. I haven't been on there in a couple days. I might want to do that. I'm not sure. I won't be able to, but I'll replay. Okay, Jen, that's fine. That's fine. Holds on him by MD and ICE. So is he, Debbie, do you know if he's illegal? Is he here illegally, or was it the guy they thought? I don't know, because we have that, we have that sketch. This is what bothers me. It took them 6 months to release a sketch of this guy. And I had to think that, LA had to have had a composite sketch. Debbie says, doesn't say it's under recently arrest sites, but I would guess if they have a hold. Yeah. Well, it also might be if they're here, like on a visa or something, they may put a hold on them due to the level of crime. That's why I thought I would ask, because that would be awful, because we are just coming off the heels of Lake and Riley, and they were able to make a fairly quick arrest on the Lake and Riley case. What another sad case. I honestly believe if they had not withheld the identity of that, because it's not a popular topic to talk about right now in this country. And so a lot of media is holding that stuff back. And I honestly believe that if they had to release the identity of the perpetrator that they had arrested, instead of making it so elusive, the major media outlets wouldn't have made the case so big. I think Lake and Riley would have tampered down very quickly after it had happened, because I see it all the time. People don't believe it happens, but I watch what media does. That's why I do some of the work that I do. Either way, we got good news. But it took them 6 months to get that sketch out. So I'm interested. I guess we'll know when we get the mugshot. I have a funny feeling the Hartford County Sheriff's going to be presenting who they arrested and their findings. This is going to be really interesting. We know that she was brutalized in many ways. I don't know how somebody gets gratification from that. It seems like something an animal would do, to be honest with you. And to think that he's laying low in Oklahoma, that just, I'm glad for law enforcement. But I'm not going to sit on my pedestal. I think I will come back. I think I'll come back on the crime stories. I may come back here. We'll see at 2. But I got to say, I'm not going to get on the soapbox too much, but this is why we really need to be funding our law enforcement, guys. This is not for our jaywalking tickets. We're not funding our law enforcement, when we get, somebody throws a rock through our window of our car because they're mad at us. This is not one of those. We don't fund we have them. There's law and order. We turn our stuff in, but we really don't have them. We're not paying them all this money for nonsense like that, right? We're doing it whenever we have major crime. When we have major crime, we need our law enforcement, and we need all the bells and whistles already on stock when they need to go. So we have to fund our law enforcement. That has to be key across this country. We have to fund them. If we want them to come when we call, we need a fund. I would like to, fund parks and recreations, because I think there needs to be either some cameras out here, in these parks. We've got dangerous people. We've got open borders. You know, we've got things going on in this country, and I think our parks and recreations need to start installing some cameras for our safety out in these natural areas. People are going to them, people are prey out there, and there is no resources out there for help. Sometimes these places are so desolate you can't even get cell service. So maybe some phones or something for emergencies being placed strategically throughout the park could really help. I mean, we've got dangers out here, and this idea we don't is foolish. Every place that you look, like when I was out there, I was thinking there is, you know, it is out there at night. You know, there are people out there. But if you really needed somebody, how are you going to get help? There's no way. You have to try to run into somebody. You got to go up. There are apartments as you walk in, and I have my theories. The apartments were one of my very first security concerns when I went into that park. The parking lot where you park out to go into the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail, well, it shares a parking lot with the backside of an apartment. And they have a couple portalets there as bathrooms, so if people need to use the bathroom. But either way, there's apartments, and they have balconies, and they can overlook who is actually pulling into that driveway and parking lot. And they have, you know, so somebody up there could have been watching. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but that's kind of, you know, I never really thought about those apartments again until Lake and Riley's case. And when Lake and Riley's case happened, that's when, and we realized the guy was just in the apartments right in her path. It was like a light bulb went off over my head because there was apartments literally right there as Rachel got on the path, just like everybody else. And it always freaks me out because you always wonder if they watched the search, they watched the, you know, and just sat there. And it's just, I don't know how anybody can, these are just savages. You know, some of these people don't live like us that are coming across these borders. They live in third world country where they literally, you know, it's an eat or be eaten mentality. And they're not from, you know, a real civilized country. And we're prey. And we don't even know they're here. We don't even know they're here. Now, I don't know if that's the case here. We know that's the case for Lake and Riley, but we don't know if that's the case here, but there is an ice hold, so we're here. So we're hearing. It's just a very scary, guys. You know, this could have been your daughter. This could have been your sister. This could have been your friend. You know, sometimes our bleeding hearts hurt other people. I just want to make sure that we understand that. You know, it's not that America wants to be a dick, but we just value our safety and value us, you know? We value us. They always say, take care of yourself so you can be strong enough to take care of somebody else. I don't know. But it's great news. It's great news on such a sad day. It's great news on a sad day. So 2 p.m., we're like an hour and 20 minutes away. We're an hour and 20 minutes away. Let me put this up. We're going to play some music here. I'm just going to take a break. I need to grab something to drink. We're just going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. I'll go ahead while we're sitting here and hanging out, and I'll prepare another thumbnail for the press conference. And when the press conference starts, we'll change out the thumbnail. Let me see if I think I'm friends with them on Facebook too. Hold on. Because I would think they would be going live from there, but they might not be. Oh, shit. No, that's not him. Okay, never mind. I'm like, I think we found a mugshot, but I guess not. Okay. I guess I don't see Hartford. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Might help. I guess they don't have a Facebook. I don't know if they do. Hartford. I don't know, but we do have their Twitter page. So I guess we'll monitor their Twitter page until something happens. They're saying that at 2 p.m. they're going to have a press conference. So let me see which ones did Rachel Morin before, and maybe we can pull a live feed, because this is huge. I mean, this happened August. Like, we're coming up to a year, and there was no arrest. I believe. Here, you know what? While we're waiting, we can watch some of the news about the guy that the sketch, so we can take a look and get a good idea and see if this guy is going to match the sketch. I've got that right here. Give me just a second. You guys understand that, you know, even this family, they were getting frustrated with their law enforcement, right? They were being pushed out. They were not being communicated with. They thought they were giving up on their loved one because there was no communication. But this family pulled together. They pulled their resources together. They got thousands and thousands of flyers. They hit the streets. They did shoe leather work to try to find answers for their loved one. You know, they tried to find answers for their loved one and all of that. Now, I keep wondering, you know, it's hard for me to not think about what led them to Oklahoma. Did another crime happen there? You know, it kind of opens up a whole new, like, he was in Los Angeles in March 2023. He assaulted a girl in March 2023 in Los Angeles. He was over in Maryland. He was on the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail, where he didn't just assault this woman now. He decided to go all in and unalive her. Brutally. Brutally. I can't express that enough. He brutally unalived her while doing some unthinkable acts to her. And now we find out he's in Oklahoma? Like, how is this man traveling? Is this courtesy of our United States government? That is going to be my first question. Because how is this man able to move so freely around this country? Where is he getting his money? You know, most of us can't, like, I have a hard time making it to here to Tennessee. This person is making it from LA to Maryland to hiding in Oklahoma. I'll be at work tonight, but I'll watch summer replay. Oh, thank you, sweet. Thank you. God bless you. So let's see what else we've got out here. And we'll just go through some stuff. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot. Here's some things. Friends remembering her. This will be interesting.
Along a popular hiking trail, double the reward now, trying to find her killer.
Rachel Morin's body was found on the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air in early August. Now the reward leading to an arrest in her murder is up to $20,000. WMER2 News' Ashley McDowell sat down with someone close to Rachel who remembers her life.
It's been almost 2 months since Rachel Morin's body was found just off the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, and now her friend is speaking out.
I will do whatever I can to keep her memory alive and to be there for her children, because she's irreplaceable. She was 1 in a million.
Claudia Brown was Rachel's best friend. The pair met 7 years ago through Rachel's mother, becoming each other's rock.
Okay.
She's just so welcoming and just so kind. And she was there for me at really the most difficult part of my life.
She even considered Rachel part of her family.
I called her my soul sister because I felt that the bond that we shared was something that transcended this world. It was so special and deep and natural and authentic.
At times, they would sneak away for girl talk.
One of my favorite memories is just going to her house, and I would bring my kids, and My kids and her kids would all get together in the living room, and then Rachel and I would go and sit in her car right outside the front door. So we were literally right next to the house, but it was the only time that we could kind of get away as mamas and kind of have that girl talk together.
And at other times, they talked about goals. She says Rachel shared her ambitions.
Back in January, she reached out to me with a plan to go back to school in the fall. One of her majors would be English because she always wanted to write a few books.
Brown says her life was a beautiful story. And although Rachel won't be writing the final chapter, it deserves closure.
Someone knows who did this. And I would ask that person or those people to dig really deep and put themselves in the position of Rachel's children.
In Bel Air, Ashley McDowell, WMAR 2 News.
So again, just rough. I mean, it is a hard case. We're leading up. We got another hour and 10 minutes, and we should have
surrounding Rachel's death.
More
but the case
information.
has been deemed a violent homicide.
Oh, we can't play
and
that
while
one.
no
That's a whole video. That's a whole movie. Oh, I don't want that. I love court TV. I love court TV. Here, we'll do this one.
There's nothing right now to stop him from doing it again. You know, I believe, our investigators believe he will do it again.
2 weeks after investigators...
That's the main thing. Did you guys hear that? That's what I'm kind of thinking. Listen.
There's nothing right now to stop him from doing it again. You know, I believe, our investigators believe he will do it again.
Think about it. He was just in LA. He committed an assault. He went to Bel Air. He committed an assault and a murder. Like, what led law enforcement knocking on his door in Oklahoma? I am just, that's his name. His name is, what did I put in here? Hold on a second. I'll tell you in just a second. It is, I typed it in from right straight from the article, and it's Victor Martinez Hernandez. Victor Martinez Hernandez from Oklahoma. Victor Martinez Hernandez. Yep. So that's who it is. That's who this unidentified man is. This is this right here is the back of the man that assaulted a 12-year-old girl and murdered and assaulted Rachel Morin on the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail when she was just jogging, just taking care of herself, just getting away from the kids and having that mental downtime to really regenerate herself and to be the best person she can be. She knew about her personal time. She knew how important it was to take that. And that's all she was doing, something she did regularly, which, you know, again, another concern for me. When we're single females, you know, regular activity, you might want to reconsider that. You know, you might want to consider going to the gym, you know, sporadically in the morning and sporadically at night. Switch it up, you know, Monday, Wednesdays, Thursday, 1 week, Tuesdays and Thursdays the next week, you know. Just, it's something that everybody, in my opinion, you know, this day and age, we all, especially us single people, we have to take precautions. Even guys. Guys, you guys are, I know you guys think you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof, but when you are alone in this world, you become a target. There's always somebody bigger and badder than you, and there's always somebody that has a weapon when you don't. So just remember that. We have to take precautions.
2 weeks after investigators released this video of the man they believe murdered Rachel Morin, he still hasn't been identified. Now detectives are crisscrossing the country as they search for a killer, as Rachel Morin's family lays her to rest.
The hardest thing is for a mom to have to plan her child's funeral, because it shouldn't be.
Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime.
I got to tell you, you know, every time I see, I try to explain to my audience that every time Whew. Every time we see a grieving mom, our grieving moms, they're very noticeable. Their faces, their behaviors, they don't grieve the same, but you know a grieving mom. I just want to point out what grieving moms look like. We got some pretty good examples here recently. We got Rachel Morin's mom on here. We got Riley Strain's mom. We've got moms that grieve for their children. I just want to point that out.
Prime. I'm Anjanette Levy.
And by the way, I love this lady. She's ultra nice in person as well.
This week, investigators from the Harford County Sheriff's Office are in Chicago and Los Angeles, following leads as they search for Rachel Morin's killer.
Chicago, Illinois. I wonder what brought them to Chicago, Illinois. How many crimes has this man committed? You know? How many crimes has this man committed that we don't know about? What would bring them to Illinois? We never found that answer. Never. I know what brought him to LA. You know, that's pretty obvious. There was a 12-year-old girl. That's where they got the DNA. But, oh yeah, forbidden. I'm telling you, I cannot watch Riley's mom at all without just a face full of tears. Her emotion just, it literally filters through this computer into me. Just you feel her, like I can't even imagine standing around that woman to feel that much pain coming through an inanimate object like a computer. You feel that lady's pain, just like Rachel Morin's mom. We just saw her up there. You felt that lady's pain. But I'm telling you, Riley's mom, when she told me her son was her best friend and she just lost her best friend, I truly believe it. She lost her son and her very best friend. That has got to be hard.
Saturday will mark 4 weeks since the mom of 5 went out for a walk on the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland, and never came home. Her body was found the next day, and a homicide investigation began. DNA from the crime scene matched DNA from a case in Los Angeles from last March. In that case, a man assaulted a young girl during a home invasion, and that's how this video came to light.
And CO, the answer is yes, there is going to be a press conference. We were going to close this live down, but we really only have like an hour to wait for the press conference. If anybody knows who's going to be who's going to have the press actually, we've got some local news here. Hold on a second. I bet you the local news is definitely going to be there. Let me open this up. I'll keep an eye. They're going to be, I guarantee that the local news is going to be going live about this. Let me find some other local news here in my reel. So we got that one and we got that one. That was going to be Baltimore, Maryland. I bet you anything we're going to get that. Okay. So let me go over here. So we'll just keep an eye on a few places to make sure that we've got everything, all of our ducks, all of our stuff crossed, all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed.
I spoke with Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor about the latest in the investigation and why he believes Morin's killer will kill again if he is not caught.
Well, since the release on August 17th, where we released the video footage and stills from that video footage, we've had hundreds of tips come in. I think we're somewhere 500 to 600 tips since the investigation began. So we've had tips come in. Investigators continue to follow up on them. We had investigators in Los Angeles last week working with.
We're getting something in. Hold on just a second. I don't know if this is accurate or not. It's possible this could be him. Let me show this. Can I make it bigger? Possibly. There's something on here. I don't know. Somebody on here, let me just show this because I don't know if I can move it. Somebody on Twitter has posted this. So I don't know if this is a picture of the guy or not. That's about as close in as I'm going to. Let me see if I can get any closer. Oh, I can get closer. It's just not letting me. Okay. See, every time I go to move it, won't let me move it. But that's about as close as I'm going to be able to get it. Let me see if I can put it up on. I don't know if this is him or not, but this is the one that's being that it might be, apparently, and that might look kind of like our sketch, guys. Actually, I don't know. I can't. It's hard. So I guess we'll wait and see what we got going on, but we're getting some information, and I'll monitor my emails here. So, all right, let's get back.
Detectives there, the FBI, and we had detectives in Chicago today. We have them in Chicago today. I'm not free to say what that was about, but we continue to follow leads wherever we need to go.
See, he's not free to say what that's about. He's never been free to say what that's about. I'm curious. Was there another crime committed in another large city? I mean, these seem like airport areas to me. I don't, I was picking up on that during the case, like from LA, and trying to figure out how he got all the way across the country. And then I started digging in, and I started realizing there was a huge, HT type of ST type of trade going on, where apparently they give like these fly cards away to people that come over the border, and they can get on an airfare and hop aboard a plane and go from different cities to different cities, from what I hear. Now, I heard that. I'm not sure. But I think there has to be some weight behind it, because I think I learned about it from Grady Judd in one of his stings, as a matter of fact. I think that's exactly where I heard it. So it's absolutely legit. And that's when I was starting. Do you guys remember that? It was great. It was definitely Grady Judd. I'm remembering it. And it happened, I don't know. I want to say it was after the new year. I think. Jumping state to state, trying not to get caught, I think. Possibly, Mimi, but still, what took him to Illinois? They've never really discussed the Illinois. I forgot all about them going to Illinois. I remember going over this before on a live when we were covering this case. So I remember hearing it, and we talked about it, but it just fell off the radar. And now that we're revisiting the case, it's back on the radar again. And now I'm wondering what in the heck took them to Illinois.
Well, our investigators are committed. I'm committed. We'll look under any rock until we find this guy and put him behind bars. So our investigators continue to work all the leads to come in, but we're still asking for the public support to share that video, to check out the picture. Somebody out there will recognize him and knows who he is. And I regret to say, we have no idea where he is. I mean, he could be here in our community. He could have gone back to Los Angeles, or he could be at any other city or community in our country or in the world.
That is a scary thought, that somebody that can do such brutality could literally be anywhere in the country. And that is what this man is saying. They can't find him. If that's his Facebook, he says he's from El Salvador. Well, I'm sorry. This crime seems like it would be somebody from one of those countries. El Salvador, I heard, is brutal. I don't know that for a fact. I've never been there. Let's see. Wow. Salvadorian gang crackdown. As of April 2nd, 2024, 79,180 people accused of having gang affiliations have been arrested, which has overcrowded the El Salvador's prisons. But they do have good reporting. January 3rd, it says El Salvador says murders have fallen 70% in 2023 as it cracks down on gang activity. 2 days ago, El Salvador authorities burned 2.7-ton pile of Coca-Cola amid crackdown on gangs and trafficking. So we got a lot of stuff coming out from El Salvador. So I don't know if that's him or not, but I know that that is a country that we keep an eye on of people coming over here from. I can tell you that.
I'm appreciative of the coverage that we're receiving because it's getting seen by so many more people. And we just needed to get in front of the right person who says, I know who that is, and then call us and tell us so that we
I think that's the terrifying thing about this. You all say the man in the video murdered Rachel Morin and probably did more than that, just from my thinking of what could have happened and what he's accused of doing in Los Angeles. So what is your concern here other than the fact that in my mind, he seems to have escalated his level of violence, going from a home invasion, assaulting a child, to now you're saying accused of murdering a woman on a running trail, somebody he didn't even know. So
do we assume?
I'm sorry, but that's pretty savage. It's pretty brutal. That's a brutal attack. Without a doubt, a brutal attack.
Unknown. We don't know for sure that they haven't crossed paths somewhere, that this was not targeted. It could have been targeted. It could be completely random.
I keep wondering about those, and I'm going to keep saying it about those apartments. Those apartments, I remember, what does it say? There's also a rehab in LA that will fly you out there for free. And there are a lot of people from Oklahoma that are addicts. That might be a key. Actually, you know what? That's not actually a bad thing because what makes, I think what makes a despicable person is 3 major key factors. It's one of them, it's a combination of 2, or it's all 3. And that's substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and home violence.
From everyone we've interviewed around Rachel, no one reports as knowing him as an acquaintance or anything. So that certainly leads us more in the direction that it was just a crime of opportunity, that it was random. And yeah, my concern is that
guys, when I'm live, please don't call me. I'm sorry, it's very distracting.
And I've said the same thing. He seems to have escalated. He's gone from a home invasion and assault against a juvenile female to a homicide here in our county. And there's nothing right now to stop him from doing it again. I believe, our investigators believe he will do it again. And I've said I wake up in the morning concerned that somewhere between Los Angeles and Maryland, there may be another homicide out there that just hasn't had the DNA hit yet that will eventually tie back to him.
I wonder if that might be it. Something brought them to Oklahoma. I'm sorry, something brought them to Oklahoma.
So until we get him into custody, there's no community that is safe that he could find himself waking up in and deciding to do something horrific like he did in this case.
That is scary. That is scary. And he's been running this town, or running this country, running through, obviously throughout it. God knows what damage he's done.
The escalation in violence, though, is terrifying. And if he indeed did not know her, if this was indeed a crime of opportunity and a random attack, there's nothing to stop him from doing this the next time the urge hits him or whatever.
Absolutely. As long as he's a free man and not behind bars where he needs to be, there is nothing that prevents him today, tomorrow, from carrying out another attack. He could be out there planning it. I pray that's not the case, but we won't know that until we have him secured in a jail where he needs to be forever, in my opinion.
Rachel. Morin's case is the only other case where DNA has matched the LA case. Maryland has some restrictions on when investigators can use genetic genealogy in cases. I asked Sheriff Gaylor if his detectives have considered going that route, since the FBI does that work and is assisting with the investigation.
Well, Maryland has a lot of restrictions and not the most public safety, police-oriented it's more pro-criminal, the legislature here. That's a whole discussion for another day.
That's a whole discussion for all of us, and we probably need to have the discussion sooner than later.
But I will say those avenues are available to us working with our partners, and we haven't released any of the investigative efforts that are moving forward other than to say we're following up. So I'm familiar with that, and every investigative effort that we possibly can do is being done.
A beloved daughter and mother and friend.
Rachel Morin's family and friends gathered for her funeral last weekend. Her mother, Patty, speaking of the pain of losing her daughter.
I have been trying for weeks to think about memories of Rachel that I can share, because I knew this time was coming. And I have to be honest, my heart and my mind won't let me go there because it's too painful.
Patty Morin talked about the outpouring of support her family has received following Rachel's murder.
I don't know anybody that's not have a little bit of doughy-eyed right now after seeing this lady's face. We feel her pain, You know whose pain we don't feel? We don't feel any pain from Sebastian Rogers' mother, Katie Proudfoot. We've never felt this. We've never felt this.
Including a walk where 2,000 people came out to remember her at the Ma and Pa Trail.
We had hundreds of people come up to me and to the other family members and hug them and say, I knew Rachel, or my daughter knew Rachel, or I didn't know Rachel, but I knew who she was. And she always said hi and she always smiled. And we think those are like little ordinary things, but they actually mean something to people. And to have 2,000 people come out because somehow Rachel and her ordinary life affected them, I think that's really amazing.
Our investigators and our victim service advocates are in contact with the family. They had a memorial service for Rachel over the weekend. You want to say they're doing well. You can't put the word well with having lost this young woman.
Having lost a child. Doesn't matter that she's 37 years old. It has nothing to do with age. A mom lost a child. That child is her child no matter how old she gets.
Mother of 5, the daughter to a mom and dad. She has a brother and a sister who lost a sibling. So there's, I say well with the big asterisk next to it that there is no doing well. And the only thing that we can offer at this point in time is to find this guy and assure them that someone else isn't going to, suffer the same fate that Rachel suffered and bring this guy to justice for them.
Harford County has set up a special email tip address. Anyone with information about Rachel Morin's murder or the man in the video can email rmtips@harfordsheriff.org. You can also call 410-836-7788.
So there we have it. They've been all over the country looking for this guy. They've been everywhere. The family, I know I was reading some reports and some little, local statements for our, articles over this course, over this course. And I got to tell you, the family at one point thought that this gentleman went back to Mexico. So they started doing some efforts in Mexico. I don't know what efforts, but I remember reading something about it. So I'm ready to find out who this man is And more importantly, I think we're going to find out that there's more crimes attached to this guy. I don't know how there couldn't be. You know, even the Rachel Morin guy that unalived her, he had committed many crimes across this country. In New York, he was caught for stealing. You know, it is petty. It seemed petty in nature, not something that was off, you know, to the degree of Lake and Riley. I don't think anybody would have anticipated a man being, questioned for stealing a hat as to, going and unaliving a woman on a trail. I mean, I remember when we heard this, we were all freaking out, wondering if the person was responsible for Rachel, because quite frankly, his face was, I mean, there were some similarities. There were some dissimilarities as well, and because we didn't know, because they're sketches, and how well can a person's memory be in a traumatic situation type of thing. So we were questioning a lot, but we were thinking it because they were so similar, like two women jogging, two women unalived in a brutal fashion, two women arred and assaulted. It's very strange. It's almost hunting like, prey like, if you will, in my opinion. A trail. You're all alone. Your guard's down. You're running. You're taking all the whole purpose of you exercising is to do stuff to cleanse your body. It's not just cleansing your body from, calories and gunk. It's to cleanse your brain and, purge some of the stuff. You're not thinking somebody's hunting you. They're not thinking somebody's hunting you, but this man is hunting. This man hunted her, in my opinion. So we got more. I thought I put another news up here. Let me go. We're hunting around for possibilities of people, of organizations. Okay, here's the other one. Let me put that down here with this one. Do I have them both? There they are. If I don't get them organized. I haven't seen any lives come up or get engaged yet from any of the local news out there. But we're monitoring that. If anybody knows of any news that's going to be running this press conference, I've got the Hartford County Sheriff's Twitter, and he says they are going to have a press conference at 2, but they didn't give any other details about the press conference at 2 other than that. So that's kind of where we're at. Is he a human HT or something maybe? I don't know. Praise the Lord, her family and friends. Yeah, law enforcement. Praise the Lord, bless her family and friends. God bless our law enforcement, all branches. Justice for Sebastian Rogers. Thank you so much. Oki says Tulsa has no pick because he is an ICE status illegal. Yeah. Oh, so they won't give you pics of ICE detainees? Really? I wonder what the purpose of that is. It seems like if they're adults, they should fall under the same category as everybody else. I mean, if I get arrested, it's plastered all over social media, the daily news, and it's probably got a few digital billboards going. Why you BSing? And they don't get the photos? That sucks. Yes, we got good news. We got good news on such a very, 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 very bad day. And so I'm hopeful that we get this press conference. We've got about another 45 minutes to kind of kill until the press conference is here. So I'm trying to find something. You know what I'm going to do is because I just need a small little break. I wasn't prepared to be here this long. I was just coming to break the news, and then we realized we got a press conference. So I think I know I took you guys on a live 7 months ago. And I'm trying to find, I remember going live, and I know it was on YouTube. And it was more than 1 minute and 18 seconds. just can't remember when I actually went to the area. It's like my head, like I bumped my head. Let me see if I can keep going down. Maybe that's what it is. I just haven't. Oh, no, that was Calvacante. Forget how many damn cases we've covered. Jeez Louisa. All right, well, I'm going to put on one of my videos. It's a longer video, but you're not going to be watching it for an hour, I promise you. It's just going to be for probably about 15 minutes. Oh, that's funny. Hold on. Okay, well, we'll use this one. I think we got it. So I'll be back here in just a few moments. You guys kind of keep yourself occupied in chat. And as soon as I find a link, we are going to go live with the press conference. There is a press conference on the Rachel Morin murder. There has been an arrest made. Hector Martinez Hernandez. Victor Martinez Hernandez, rather. Sorry about that. Victor Martinez Hernandez has been arrested in connection. He was arrested in Oklahoma. We do not have any more details than that at this moment. That's why it is so extremely important for us to get that press conference and find the details out as they know them or will be willing to tell us.
Feel alone in the struggle, and we really do put a lot of effort into searching. We do. We still have a lot of work to do on Layla Santinello. You know, leads are drying up, people aren't talking, and now we have other girls missing. I'm not going to really dive into the Layla Santinello case just yet, but we're going to take we're going to be putting her on the front burner tomorrow. But for today, this is just a segue into Rachel Morin, because after we left Tennessee, we went over to Maryland, and just to see, because our heart broke. We learned of this beautiful mom, young, 37, mother of 5 beautiful kids, decides to go out. She's very athletic. She takes care of herself. You can see that she really does she takes care of herself, and her appearance is at most important to her. So she exercises like many people in that area. That Ma and Pa Trail has been used by a lot of people. And even when we are there, there was a lot of people on that trail that go there regular. This is their regular routine. This is the community's regular routine. Some people go out there like clockwork at the same time every single day to walk with their dog or their significant other or their grandchildren or their children. And it's just a beautiful, peaceful, you hear the ambiance of country. I don't know how to put it, other than country, the crickets, the frogs, the birds, the wildlife, you're surrounded by it, and you have this just beautiful natural backdrop that's just gorgeous, and just, I can't express it into words. It's serene, it's peaceful, it's calming. I mean, it's all those words that you want to hear. And I can see why so many people go to this very specific area and enjoy some time there. Because while we were there obviously for a very specific purpose, and it was this case. But it was hard not to, just stop and say, wow, look how beautiful this is. It was just, and there was multiple times, I can tell you, that Olivia and I just stopped, just to look. It was just gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. It was calming. When we were on the path, I can kind of see how I can see kind of how this situation manifested itself into this, because when you're on that trail, there's different paces of people. So you've got some people that are just leisurely walking. You've got some people that have more of a brisk walk. You've got some people that are jogging. You've got some people on not motorcycles, on bikes, right? So you have all these different, so hearing crinkles of sticks and leaves and stuff like that, hearing somebody jogging up behind you, you're not even going to turn your head. And I can honestly say the majority of the people that were running and exercising had these things in. And I don't think that even if she wasn't listening to music as she was, working out, I still think that this would have been plausible. And I don't think she would have been in fear until that split second, because hearing somebody running behind you, hearing somebody scurry behind you, hearing noise coming, whisking around you was common. You didn't think anything of it at first. Your first time on the trail, you hear something behind you. I guess it's natural for everybody to turn and look, who's behind you. But once you're there and you're just going through the wilderness there, this park, you stop turning your head. You start becoming comfortable with hearing that running noise or that bicycle approaching or that creak in the sticks and the ruffle of the leaves. It all becomes kind of normal. So you stop being almost, how can I explain it? It's such a common noise that you almost drown it out, where you don't even pay attention to it anymore. It's not that the sounds aren't there. It's just you have no fear of the noise. Therefore, you're not even registering it anymore, in my opinion. But I can kind of understand. So first, I'm just going to bring you guys up to where we are. We're going to talk about some new information, and we're going to talk about what kind of inspired me to bring Rachel Morin to the forefront of our conversation today. And that reason is because of her mom. Her mom came out and spoke out, and I can't imagine how hard this has to be for a mother. Her mom is dealing with so much. Her mother's dealing with the loss of her daughter. She is dealing with the loss of her grandchildren's mother. She is dealing with her grandchildren now being split across, from my understanding, 3 different homes. This is very, I mean, I can't imagine. I'm sitting here dealing with, a personal issue to me right now. And until this case, I'm poor me. But you got to look and think, man, it could be so much worse. I could be dealing with, a loss in my family, one that's displacing my cousins, nieces, nephews. Oh. Anyways, there you guys have it. That's my kind of opinion on the trail and what I saw there. We have about 30 more minutes before we're supposed to be having a press conference from Hartford Sheriff's Office. They're going to be giving us an update, a media update. I'm kind of monitoring all of the places that I know to monitor for this press conference. So far, I haven't seen anybody set up any press conferences for this yet, which is a little concerning for me. But I'd like to see at least one person have a live setup or testing for audio or something like that, but we're not seeing it. So I don't know if anybody's going to be out there, if it's going to be done like on a Facebook Live, or if it's going to be done. The interview room is covering it. Gotcha. The interview room. Okay, give me just a second. I'm going to play this while I do some research. Grandchildren, there could be something else going on that's majorly, more profound than the poor pity me problem I got right now, right? So it's just something to give us a little perspective. It's something to bring awareness to the case. And I can't imagine how her mother must be feeling, dealing with all of this, and having every time she's got to talk about this. You've got to understand this is aggravating some very deep pain and feelings that she is dealing with, and she has no answers for. And at the end of the day, it is it's just heartbreaking. This whole story is just heartbreaking and disgusting. Like there's just no good excuse for what that family's dealing with. And to still have the guy on the run. We're going to discuss that, because if you guys have been watching me for any kind of significant time, you know that I kind of have a theory as to why this guy is not being just broadcasted across all of our television channels all these months later. I think they have him arrested on unrelated charges, and they're trying to build the case. And I think that this is one step forward to try to help. They know something. I feel like, because this was we'll get to it, but it was very direct, and we're going to go over why I feel like there's more to this assailant. Why is there no more urgency to get him off the street as there once was? There's no urgency. There's no press conferences. There's no reminders from law enforcement out there that this man is on the loose and needs to be apprehended. So in light of that, when we have no information, I directly look at the behaviors of law enforcement investigating the case to kind of derive some guidance as to what they're doing or where they're at. And in this particular matter, it's just dormant. And I don't believe that they're not investigating this is the problem. So not having all this information out is leading me to believe that they do have this assailant in jail on unrelated charges. And that's why the urgency isn't there, and why he's not being broadcasted still across this country on every single TV channel, because they don't need people looking for a man that's not lost. That's truly how I feel. Like this just went from
that's truly how I felt
on every single channel to everybody just right.
I got to be honest with you. That was one of the weirdest things about this case, about everything, is that we had a situation here that it's like, we have a situation where we're supposed to be looking for a person. The family has raised like a significant reward fund, and law enforcement is not even talking about the case. They're not, it took 6 months to get a video rendering of the case, and that's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, back here. We'll go back there. But her murderer still hasn't been apprehended yet, but you don't see law enforcement pushing the issue. So there is something there. And I'm still, and I said this early on when I thought, you know what, this is a little odd, but then as more time is going on, I'm saying, nope. They should be out here beating this pavement. They should be out here letting people in that community know that this guy is still on the loose, and they're not doing all that. It's hush, hush, hush. So we have one of two things going on here. Cops are brushing stuff up under the rug, which I don't think they're doing. I just don't believe in the heart of hearts that they're just saying, you know what, we can't find the guy. Let's try to quiet this down as quickly as possible. I just don't believe that that's what they're doing. Hey, some people probably do, and they're entitled to their opinion of it. But I don't believe that's the case. So what other options are there? And for me, the other option is he's arrested on unrelated charges. And I don't think that's the case now. We've got a guy right now that's clearly in Oklahoma, and he's been arrested. He's accused of assaulting somebody else in LA, and he murdered somebody in Maryland. So law enforcement went completely dark on the public in searching for him. It just seemed like they didn't really want the public's help in identifying who it was, even though they had his DNA. So obviously something happened, something broke, and I'm curious to find out what it was that broke. I never even learned about Stacy Wandra, right? In the Michael Monkey Vaughn case. He had been sitting in jail. They kept it under wraps for months. He had been sitting in jail on those weapon charges, and we were none the wiser until I got that information leaked to me, and I called up to the
police department or the booking department and found out that, holy crap, we got something going on. So I'm starting to believe the man that attacked her and the 12-year-old girl is behind bars on unrelated charges. Maybe he's behind bars on the match to the Los Angeles case. But if that was the case, then he would be arrested for this case. So I have a funny feeling they've got him on something else. I don't know what, but I just, and I could be totally off base with this theory and opinion, but it just seems more likely than not, because I would think that law enforcement on the back end of Rachel's mom, Patty, coming forward and speaking about this to multiple news organizations, I would think that they would have the officer right behind them saying, hey, you know, anybody with any information leading to the whereabouts of this deranged lunatic that likes to kill, you know, assault and kill women, we're just not getting that. So why? I don't believe that law enforcement just quit caring. There's something more going on there I think we need to look at. So we're just going to go back in time. We're going to bring you guys all up to speed on who is Rachel Morin and what happened.
Rachel Morin was murdered, brutally murdered
We already watched
by
that.
a monster. If you have any information, please reach out.
A situation where we've learned that it was possible he came through a back door or a window. Again, unclear. I'm not going to state one way or another. You guys can do your own research on that. It's not an aspect that that I'm concerned, you know, too concerned with at this moment. But the point is that we're told by law enforcement, although we saw him coming out of the house, there was no him walking up to the door and going in. So there's no frontal face, good facial features provided. But this is not our first rodeo, right? This is not our first rodeo. Many of us have been here for a really long time. We have been following cases for a really long time. And one of the tools that have been used ever since I was a little girl, watching Perry Mason and Columbo. And that's called sketch artists, right? This is where I have a huge problem and why I feel that law enforcement is not providing us everything possible to find this guy. Because if it was possible, and here's the other thing, if he truly was not behind bars on unrelated charges at this moment, in my opinion, they would have already been forced to release a forensic sketch of who that girl saw and who that man that shut that door saw. And I believe...
And they never did. For 6 months. For 6 solid months, never released it.
In all of my heart of hearts, that they had already had a forensic sketch of this man and chose not to distribute it when they found out he was linked to Los Angeles. I can't imagine that a young girl, underage girl, could be assaulted and several people see the person's face unobstructed and not have a forensic artist want to have them immediately start rendering a rendering of this assailant. I just don't, I don't see that not happening. So again, it comes back to why are they withholding this stuff from us? We're not stupid. You know, they can give us word salad all they want, but at the end of the day, I really truly believe that they either need to say, you know, they believe that XYZ, he's being held on unrelated charges, and start letting the public help them build the case against him, or release the darn forensic sketch of this man's face. We know it's out there. We know the FBI and all these other resources are available, and you cannot tell me. I'm sorry, you can tell me. I'm just not going to believe it, that there is no rendering of this man's face.
And they did end up releasing one, but not very quickly, according to me. But nothing's very quickly, according to my timeline. I still have not seen a mugshot of this guy yet. We still don't know who he is yet. I still don't know where the press conference is, the information on this whole, it's basically saying at 2, but it's not even saying where. I'm pretty sure that it's at the sheriff's office. I would presume that they would have that at the sheriff's office, but we don't know. It says we're expecting a long awaiting update for the Rachel Morin case today. Our Tory guy will be there. So we got Tory. There we go. We're getting somewhere. It's just going to take me a little while to find some. So I'm just going to keep playing. Let you guys watch something while I do my job here behind the scenes. I gotta work if we're going to keep going, because we've got a press conference I got to locate on the fly.
So why aren't they distributing? That's my question. And it's a legit question to have. And I think everybody should be asking that question. Either come out and tell us if they can, this is a woman that lost her life brutally and left 5 children behind. So at the end of the day, our utmost importance is that investigation and making sure they have a solid case against the assailant that attacked Rachel, so that this assailant can never attack another woman or little girl again. Some people identified him as a serial killer. I'm not sure if I'm willing to give him that designation just yet, because we only know of one person that lost their life, but I definitely will say a serial assayer. We'll give it that. So just to give you guys an update, and then we'll do the last video. On August 6th, Rachel Morin's body was found along the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air after she went missing on August 5th. We learned it was a teenage girl that found her, a teenage girl and her friend that found her. That was a sight that no child should have ever had to see. And it's very, very sad that somebody, but, unfortunately and fortunately, thankfully to these young kids, I don't want to call them children because they're young teens. Thank God for them, because they did find her the next day. But I can't imagine a young person seeing something like that. It had to have been next to horrific. On the eve of August 5th, so she went missing on August 5th. She went out to the park in the middle of the day. She was attacked in the middle of the day. They had an extensive
search we got it
that day, and that did not warrant anything. And then the next day, a girl was hanging out with her friend and stumbled across Rachel.
There we go. So I have to. Your browser lost connection to your StreamYard audio. Of course it did. Of course it did. Give me just a second. We just got the picture. This appears to be the assailant right here. This is the first preview we are having of Victor Martinez Hernandez, which has been charged. He was the person in the bottom of that photo that Jen sent to us. This is the photo right here. This is the man that has been placed behind bars and is a monster. 5'8", 160 pounds. There is our assailant. There he is. That man right there is has been accused. Well, his DNA was left, so there's no accusing. I think that's pretty cut and dry. His DNA was left at the scene of a 12-year-old home invasion, where it left a 12-year-old ARD and essayed by this man. And that was back in March of 2023, just a little over, 15 months ago. And then in August, on August 5th, he attacked Rachel Morin on the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail in the evening and brutalized her. He brutally killed her and ard her and assaulted her and left her in a retaining pond, not retaining pond, but it was like a culvert out there. The thumbnail shows you where she was. I was standing right where in the general area of where she was found and located. There he is. We've been looking for him. There's the monster. It's hard to believe. I see kids like this going to our schools, saying hi to me, bagging my groceries. This guy looks normal to me. We don't know how old this photo is. This probably isn't a recent photo if they're not releasing a photo of him. He may have some tattoos now. We won't know until, well, might be on that report Jen sent me. Sorry, guys, I'm eating. I haven't eaten all day. If it's offensive to you, well, you're going to have to be offended today. This is a working project. Where's the first email you sent? There it is. They don't really give any information about tattoos. They don't even get hair or eye color on here. Just 5'8", 160 pounds. And in his time of arrest. So he was arrested at 11:28 on Friday night and booked at 12:20 on the 15th. So I wonder if they had detectives down there to question him or something before he was booked in. I don't know. That had been a great day for the investigators on this case. This is one of the cases that I was very concerned. See, you know what's really crazy for me is it seems like the cases I think will not be solved get solved before the cases that I initially think will be solved. And it is just it's hard for me, to be honest with you. It's very hard for me. But we have the suspect. We know now we can see a face. And let's look at that one photo of let me go back here. Give me a second. I know we had that on. There we go. I don't know. Yeah. Where was I? I get so lost on here. There he is. Yep. Let me see if I can, let me do something here real quick. Pull this down here. Oops. Pull this down here. And where's the other one? Let's pull this down here. All right, let's put this one behind here. Put this one right here. Let's see how this is going to look. Give me a second. There we go. There you go. I'd have to say that looks like the sketch. Put a hat on him. That looks like the sketch. Pretty good. Pretty stinking good. I think his eyes are a little more dark and insetted. That was the only difference. I think the only thing I would have changed about the eyes and the eyes in this should have been inset a little more. The eyes in that should have been inset a little more, I think. Hold on, let me pull this up just a little bit more. Yep. Nose is a little too pointy, but other than that, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But the eyes are more sunken in. But even the nose, I think everything else is spot on. Pretty intense gay. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah. But in all fairness, I mean, he doesn't creep me out. In the picture with the purple shirt, he doesn't creep me out. He looks like somebody, he looks like my neighbor. I mean, I would never be next to this guy and think that he would be capable of what he's being charged with right now. I know, thank God they did get him. This is definitely interesting. But we have a good idea now who it is. And I guarantee that if he's arrested, they have DNA. They match DNA. He's going down for an assault of a 12-year-old girl, as well as a murder and an assault of a 37-year-old woman. That's quite the rap sheet to have at such a young age. This guy does not look very old. How old is he? I didn't even check to see how old he was. I didn't even check to see how old he was. Okay, let me put this back where it needs to go. Boom, boom, boom. Because if I get these out of order, then I will screw everything up. And I want you guys to see this guy here, up here. There we go. All right, we'll keep him up on the top of the screen right now. It sounds like we do have some. I'm monitoring some news anchors websites right now because they are having a press conference at 2. That's like in 10 minutes. I haven't seen anybody yet go live from this press conference. I don't see anybody live from this press conference. If anybody has a link to the press conference, let's see what this is. Okay. There looks like they're live on WBL, whatever it is, but it doesn't look like anybody's live streaming this press conference that I can see. Does anybody know where the press conference is? If anybody can start searching for that, that would be great. But there's got to be somebody's got to have a plug on this press conference. I don't see Court TV talking about it. I don't see Law and Crime talking about it. I'm on I hear that let's see. Maybe they've got something. I don't even see anything on their Twitter or on their Twitter page, except they're reposting that Sheriff Gaylor will be providing an update at 2. But other than that, does anybody have any information on that? She did well on the sketch. Yes. That sketch is really close. It is. It's very close. Pretty intense gaze. Yes. Dead eyes. Wow. Thank God they've got him. The video, he looked more stocky. I know. He did, didn't he? Because you weren't seeing. Maybe he's more cut up under there. Or maybe he worked out when he got here. We don't know where this photo is. This is just a photo that I believe it's a legit photo because Annette Levy got it. They're quick. They're quick. I've been looking all over. I don't know where they got it from, but they got it. But other than that, I haven't seen anybody else talk about it. And Hartford County Sheriff is just basically got Hartford County Sheriff, and they're not running anything on their channel right now. So I have no idea. But it's definitely going to be a press conference. Can somebody look at maybe some of the other channels just to see where that press conference is at? Betty, you're not over average and easily intimidated. You can look into Hawk's eye. No problem. Probably because I've been touched by a vampire. I got the gaze. Just not the teeth. I'm just joking. Not yet. All right. Well, I'm trying to monitor everything. If you guys get it and you guys email it to me or something like that, then why do I have those two up there? Get that out. There we go. Do I have two things open on my channel? I don't understand this. It's really weird what it's doing to me. Hold on a second. No, I do not. I wonder why it's showing I'm sharing twice. This is weird. There's so many technical issues with StreamYard right now. It's not even funny. Like, seriously, some major technical issues. All right, I'm going to give you guys something to watch while I go creep. I can't imagine. Her boyfriend, Richard Tobin, called the police on the eve of August 5th when she never returned home. Definitely out of character and unlikely for her. However, he came under really heavy scrutiny because it was a new relationship. They pretty much, moved in together fairly quickly. I mean, in the grand scheme of relationships and what have you. So, and he was a buff guy and younger than her, like 10 years younger than her. Oh, I forgot about that. And so, naturally in situations like this, we know that the stranger danger component is there, but more than not, it's a person that that typically hurts you. That doesn't mean that's the case all the time. That means that the high probability is it's somebody that knows you. In this particular case, that's not the case. It was somebody that we cannot even see them crossing paths. Like, we were looking there, like when we got to the trail, there's like an apartment complex on one side, and then it almost looks like the parking for the trail is part of that apartment complex, but it's not. It's public parking for the trail. There's some porta potties there, and I guess they have those porta potties that are maintained by the city or county, for the people that walk the park that need to relieve themselves or whatnot. They can use the porta potties. They're clean. They're not like disgusting porta potties. But they're still kind of disgusting because they're porta potties. I don't know how to explain it, but they're clean. They're clean. So, even Olivia and I were talking about, what if it was just something where this guy just happened to be coming out of those porta potties at the same time she parked and followed her in. Just something so innocent that just turned out to be so bad. But then you got to look on the flip side of that, because we are true crime and we know how twisted and demented some of these people are. Was he stalking her? Is this something where she didn't even know, kind of like the Idaho 4? Where none of them they were all clueless and they were being stalked by a savage, brutal, crazy lunatic. So, it's really, really hard. We do have, and I've got here, the assailant is on the video in Los Angeles, leaving a home where he essayed an underage girl. Hartford County Sheriff has shared that video with the public, and they did that early on when they matched and linked the DNA. Rachel's mother says that it's feeling like it's happening all over again. She's trying to bring awareness to her daughter's case. She's trying to implore the sympathy and empathy of the assailant's mother. Yes, that's what I said, and we're going to get into that. That's really why this particular live was inspired. It was inspired because of Rachel's mother. She says there are so many very devastating words to use. It's just sad, she says. She talks about the empty silence because there's a voice missing. And then, of course, I've got, question marks like, where's the forensic sketch of this man? The mother of the assailant knows who he is, and they believe that the mother of the assailant has seen this image of him and still isn't coming forward. Rachel's mom also had warned her several times about going on that trail alone. She says Rachel didn't see herself as being a target or at risk for anything, her mother tells WBAL. She lived life as Rachel. She loved people and was outgoing. So that made me scared for her. And I would tell her all the time, Rachel, don't go walk the trail by yourself. Guys are still working. But who would ever think? Who would ever think? All right, let's get moving in. All right, guys, I'm still working behind here. Everybody, I'm reading through everything. Everybody's having a problem trying to find a live, huh? Check mod chat. Okay. Check mod chat, check mod chat, check mod chat. All right. Mod chat, mod chat, mod chat. All right. Thank you. Sesame. We're here, guys. Let's go. Hold on. I just had of course, my internet, my system just fell down again. So you guys can. That's the one from 9 months ago, guys. That's not the right one. So the mod chat, that's not the right one. We need the one for today, but maybe it's going to be from this one. Hold on, let me just Baltimore, see if they're going to be out there today. I still don't see, this is one I'm monitoring right now, and I still don't see it. You guys still can't hear me? Can you guys hear me now? This is just getting old with this whole mic situation. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Are you guys still not able to hear me? Okay, you're fine. Okay. Let me set it back. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm having all these issues with StreamYard. All of a sudden, like in the last month, everything's just got a haywire. Like it's got poor quality. It's got poor audio. We need the stuff for this month. That was from 9 months ago. That was from 9 months ago. Okay. So, for County Sheriff. I wonder if they're going to do it from their Facebook watch. Let me see if I can get over here. So I don't know. We need a link. Let me share this page again. Sorry, guys. Hopefully we don't lose our mics again, but it seems like that seems to be the new thing with StreamYard. So prepare for a bumpy ride. And this is the last video that I created. Well, we had lives, but this is the last shorts that I created. And I don't want to, but that's just a little bit more about her and her life. Look at her baby. It's just sad. It's just sad. And then let me just get over here. And then this is where we're wrapping up at. This is something.
The grandmother of her 5 children. Longer than I thought. It is even longer than I thought. I thought it was 82 days. It's 85.
It's now 88 or 89 days today. 88 or 89 days today.
I thought 82 was long enough. It's 85 days since Rachel Morin was killed on a hiking trail in Maryland. She went out on a Sunday at 6.
Okay.
She did not.
This stupid audio. I swear before God, I'm about to lose my stuff on this stupid flipping audio. Every time I change. Give me a second, guys. We got a live feed, but hopefully you guys will be able to hear it because I'm having some major audio problems where StreamYard likes to drop my audio when I change. So we've got the audio, or we've got the... I'm so nervous because every time I go to something, it changes my audio. I'm going to refresh this. All right, guys. So I've got something to monitor now. So as long as we've got this, I just don't know if we're going to hear something. As soon as they do a mic test, we'll know for sure. But we've got, it looks like we've got the stream in. I don't even know where the hell I got that from, to be honest with you. And it just went out. Are they having problems? Can you guys hear that? And then they just went out. All right, let me go back. Baltimore. That was weird. Maybe they were just doing a test. Like it's 2:05. What the hell? Did they cancel it? Oh, here we go. Why is there no sound? There's no sound. God gracious. I have no sound on her. None whatsoever. None. We have no sound. Can you guys hear me? You guys have sound? Okay, well then my audio's. Good gracious. This is insane. This is fucking insane. I'm done. Hear the video. It's not playing. I have no sound. Everybody keeps saying
Y'all, I have no sound. I don't know what to do. It's not playing anything. I have no sound. I'm sitting here trying like hell to have, this is just crazy. Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I'm in today. Nothing's going right visually for me. I don't know what else to do.
Have worked this case with persistence and passion for Rachel and for her family every day over the past 10 months. Just over 3 weeks ago, on May 20th, on what should have been Rachel's 38th birthday, and in a poetic coincidence, or perhaps in Rachel's own divine assistance, our investigators uncovered a lead that led us to this day. And on this day, I'm here to tell you Rachel's murderer is no longer a free man. Hopefully, he will never have the opportunity to walk free again. The lead we received was related to DNA evidence and allowed investigators to finally put a name to the image of the suspect in the video from Los Angeles, which we released 2 weeks after Rachel's death. After we had the video, we knew what he looked like. We knew what he looked like, but we didn't know who he was. With the new DNA evidence, now we know who he is, but we still didn't know where he was. As I have stated many times, this killer could have been laying his head in any community in the country or even in the world, and indeed, that was completely accurate. Over the past 2 weeks, investigators continued their diligent investigation and tracked our suspect all the way from Prince George's County to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Our investigators also obtained an arrest warrant yesterday afternoon, and as the arrest warrant was being issued, we met with Rachel's family, many of whom are with us today, to update them on the case and asked of them an almost impossible request, and that was to keep the information about the identity and the arrest warrant to themselves and protected to allow investigators the opportunity to try to apprehend this suspect before it was made public in the news, so that our suspect did not have the opportunity to learn that he was wanted and to once again flee. 5 hours after meeting with the family and just before midnight our time, police in Tulsa, Oklahoma, assisted by our federal partners, located and arrested Rachel's murderer, Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez. So far, we have learned that the suspect, now pictured on the screens, is a 23-year-old citizen of El Salvador who illegally crossed the border into the United States in February of 2023.
Knew it.
We all suspected that perhaps Rachel was not his first victim. And it's my understanding that this suspect, this monster, fled to the United States illegally after committing the brutal murder of a young woman in El Salvador a month early in January of 2023. Once in our country, and likely emboldened by his anonymity, he brutally attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother during a home invasion in
9 years old
2023 in Los Angeles. And as everyone I believe is aware, that was our first DNA match linking Rachel's case to the Los Angeles case. It has been a fear of mine that once we identified this suspect, the result would be exactly this. And I want to now direct these comments to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and to every member in both chambers of Congress. We are 1,800 miles away here in Harford County. We are 1,800 miles away from the southern border, and the American citizens are not safe because of failed immigration policies. This is the second time in just 2 years that an innocent Harford County woman has lost her life to a criminal in our country illegally. Let me repeat that. 1,800 miles from the southern border, and this is the second woman in our county to be killed by an illegal alien. Suspects, in both cases, they are suspects from El Salvador with ties to criminal gangs. Should not be happening. Victor Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or for his family. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel, and God willing, no one else. But that should have never been allowed to happen. Moving on, I want to make it clear that this case does not get solved, and we do not bring this criminal to justice without the amazing law enforcement teamwork from our local, state, and federal partners. And I mean that in all sincerity. Rachel's homicide does not get solved. There is no arrest without all of us working together. And for that, I want to thank everyone here in the front of the room and all those who aren't here, but I'm going to cover a list in a minute. I want to thank all of them for their assistance to our agency over the past 10 months. We are profoundly grateful for your dedication and support. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, especially the Baltimore Field Office, rendered invaluable assistance throughout the course of the investigation. Similarly, the State Police, Maryland State Police Crime Laboratory contributed greatly with their expertise and resources. I must also say thank you to the Los Angeles Police Department, the Department of Homeland Security, Naval Criminal Investigative Services, the Maryland State Police Bel Air Barrack, the U.S. Marshal Service Fugitive Task Force, the Harford County State's Attorney's Office, the Maryland Department of Natural Resources Police, the Bel Air Police Department, Maryland Coordination and Analysis Center, the Baltimore Washington HIDA, the Tulsa, Oklahoma Police Department, El Salvadorian authorities, and the many law enforcement agencies, both state and local, who provided invaluable assistance to the Harford County Sheriff's Office during this investigation. As I think is evident, this was truly a comprehensive law enforcement effort, and I am exceptionally proud of the work done by the collective team and countless others who made last night's arrest in Tulsa possible. I also want to thank the members of our Harford County community for their patience, support, and cooperation throughout this investigation, to include hundreds upon hundreds of tips that our investigators have received. Today, we were able to provide what some like to refer to as closure for Rachel's family and for our Harford County community. I want to thank the members of the Morin family, and you're going to hear from, as Christy said, from Patricia here in a minute, but no questions. They have been by the side of our detectives this entire time, doing anything that they could do to help the investigation and to help our detectives, to help bring this individual that took Rachel's life to justice. I recognize there is nothing that will ever close the door or bring true closure concerning the loss of Rachel, but it is my hope and the hope of all involved working this case that the arrest of this suspect brings her family and our Harford County community some peace. I would like to now ask FBI Baltimore Field Office Special Agent in Charge, William DeBano, did I get it right? DeBano, to offer a few remarks.
Thank you, Sheriff Taylor. Good afternoon. My name is Bill Del Bagno. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI Baltimore Field Office. Today, our focus remains on Rachel, bringing justice for her, finding answers for her family and loved ones, and making sure the violent criminal who so viciously took her life cannot harm anyone else. The FBI is proud to stand united with our partners in the Harford County Sheriff's Office as we announce this arrest. We know nothing can take away the pain and the anguish Rachel's family and friends have endured. Please know, on behalf of the FBI, our hearts are with you. To the public, keeping our community safe is one of the FBI's highest priorities, and so are the invaluable partnerships required to accomplish this. During the investigation, here's what I can share from the FBI. Our investigative genetic genealogy team in Baltimore worked countless hours to identify the suspect by using crime scene DNA and tracing that DNA to potential family members. Investigators even traveled to El Salvador as part of their efforts to identify this killer. To find the suspect, we've provided technical assistance, helping to pinpoint his location. And that brings us to last night, where Tulsa police and FBI agents were able to successfully apprehend and arrest the suspect in Oklahoma. Hartford County and the investigators on this case worked every angle, tirelessly and constantly, never giving up and following every lead and piece of evidence. We thank Hartford County for their partnership and bringing us into the investigation. As Sheriff Gaylor outlined, we thank everyone who helped make this arrest possible. To all those who have been waiting for an arrest to be made, for answers, we hope this brings a sense of justice and some peace. The FBI vows to continue to work every day to keep our community safe and prioritize the partnerships so vital to doing that. Thank you. I will now turn it over to Evan Campanella, the Deputy Special Agent in Charge, HSI, Baltimore.
Thank you, Sec Del Bagno. First off, I would like to thank Sheriff Gaylor for having HSI present for today's announcement. Today's announcement is the culmination of almost 1 year of investigative activity that might not always go noticed by the public. This investigation highlights the cooperation and the collaboration HSI has with its state and local and federal partners, and I'm happy to be here today with Sheriff Gaylor and our partners to announce the arrest of Mr. Martinez Hernandez. I hope that today's announcement, as the sheriff pointed out, will help bring some closure to Rachel's family. And again, I would like to thank Sheriff Gaylor for asking HSI to participate in this investigation and to be here for today's announcement. I would now like to invite Hartford County State's Attorney, Allison Healy, to the podium for her remarks.
Good afternoon. I want to commend the Hartford County Sheriff's Office and other assisting agencies on the hard work, expertise, and diligence identifying and apprehending the suspect in the murder of Rachel Morin. They worked tirelessly on this lengthy and difficult investigation for the public safety of our community and bringing Rachel's family peace, knowing that the next step is prosecution. I will personally be leading the prosecution of this case. While the defendant is innocent until and unless he is proven guilty, Hartford County and our neighboring communities can rest assured that my office will take all steps necessary to ensure that justice is served for Rachel Morin and her family. We have already begun coordinating with the Warrant Apprehension Unit of the Hartford County Sheriff's Office to handle the extradition of the defendant to Hartford County. And once the defendant has been transported back to Hartford County, prosecution will commence. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce to you all Patricia Morin.
I'm going to make this really short because I'm very emotional. I just want to take this time to thank all of the law enforcement for all their hard work. I know that a lot of times we don't see what goes on behind the scenes. You know, you see the policeman in the car when you write you a ticket, but you don't see the real work that happens behind. And around Christmas time, we did a canvassing with Hartford County, thank you. And they brought us into a room and I could see all of the people, all the people that were involved. And that's not even all the external agencies that were involved. And it just gave me such hope that they really did care about our family and my daughter, that they were going to work diligently to find the person that murdered her. At one point, when things seemed like really bleak and hopeless, the lead detective said to me, he said, patience will win in the end. And that's what they've been doing. They've been diligently working very hard, and they've been patiently working through all the leads. And it's because of that that we have an arrest today. So I'm very thankful and just very grateful to these men. And I'm also very grateful to the press because you kept her story alive so that people would still continue to send in tips. And that helped them to do their job. So I want to thank the press as well. But I don't know if this is, oops, sorry about that. I don't know if this is kosher or not. I'm gonna step away from the pulpit. But I think we should applaud them just because I am so grateful that they have brought us to this place. Because at some of the points during this, I didn't think that we were ever going to have an end, that it was going to be a cold case. So I would like to applaud them.
Thank you, and hate to cut this off. So with that, we are going to take some questions. And as Christy said, this is still an active investigation. So there's some things that we're not free to speak about or won't be speaking about. So with that, does anybody have any questions that we can answer for?
This is where we're going to be getting our info.
I want to know if you can, and I know we kind of went into it a little bit, but what actually happens with him right now? I feel like we read an ice hold. I don't know if you're familiar with that term or if you can kind of
I'm very familiar with ICE detainers.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure.
Yes, we are a.
What's the status of
There has been an ICE detainer filed on him because he is in this country illegally out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He would not be deported before answering for these charges. So I honestly believe that's the last place he wants to go. I think, a sad statement is our jails are better here than they are in El Salvador. And he's going to spend, God willing, the rest of his days behind bars. Investigators are still working. I mean, he worked a few odd jobs that we are familiar with. Did not live a very, expensive lifestyle. But this is a free country. You can, once you're in it, you can move from one jurisdiction to the next, very freely. And he did that from El Salvador into the United States to Los Angeles, unfortunately here to Harford County. And again, down in Prince George's County, we had him in the Virginia area, and then all the way out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in the year he's been in the country, a little year plus, who knows where else he's been. And it's a fear of mine. It's a fear of our investigators. And as Patty said, our investigators took this case to heart, as they do all the cases. But this case, they took to heart, and they worked so hard and have an emotional tie to it that I got off on a tangent. That they, I lost my train of thought. Investigators are working that. We certainly know he has connections down in the DC area, both Virginia and Prince George's County. But again, as he moved around the country, there were places that we believe he probably had associates, and he has ties to known gangs. So we believe that's how he lived his life.
You mentioned a few, but how many total crimes or victims are police aware that this man committed?
That's where I was going before. We fear all the time, the investigators fear that we're going to stumble across another crime that just hasn't been tied back through DNA or some other science or electronic, tie, that the evidence just hasn't reached the point where we get a hit. But right now, what we're familiar with is the crime in Los Angeles, the home invasion in March of 2023, the homicide here of Rachel in August of 2023. And I believe in Tulsa, he's facing some local charges as well for last night. I think trespassing or disorderly or something to that effect. We're not familiar with any other. I'm not familiar with any other charges. No, in El Salvador, there is a what's called a red notice. A red notice, which is basically an Interpol warrant for his arrest to bring him back there to stand for the homicide of the woman in that case down there.
And can you speak to the collaboration with the El Salvadorian authorities? How did you all handle that?
Well, and I gotta defer to our partners at the FBI on that one because they did most of the international.
Thanks, sir. So the FBI has personnel that are positioned throughout the world. They're called legal attaches. And we have a legal attache that is in El Salvador. As we were conducting some of the investigative actions along with Hartford County. The some of the investigative information took us to El Salvador and working with our partners there in order to understand some of the familial ties that that are down there, and also bring together back a better understanding of the red notice that Sheriff Gaylor brought up as well. I don't have any information on it.
Can you go into detail how he was arrested in Tulsa? Was it a traffic stop? Was it something that happened?
As I understand it, there was about, I don't know how many hours they're behind, 2, 3, Tulsa. So it was midnight our time, and he was hanging out at a business park or a storefront, and the police encountered him, and apparently there's a charge of, did we say it's trespassing? Trespassing, and he was identified during that arrest and processing.
Any idea of a motive here? Or we feel like this is just completely random?
Well, that's been a question since the outset. You know, was Rachel's homicide random or targeted? And again, I don't know that we have that answer explicitly or completely. But at this point, there's nothing to indicate that anyone other than him was involved. We do have some belief that he spent some time here in the Bel Air area, so he may have seen her and her more or less routine operations. One of the things that we caution people, particularly women on the trail, about doing was developing a routine where it can be predicted where you might be. That would be my suspicion if he decides to talk throughout the course of the
Don't know what happened. It just froze. It's like everything. Like, I don't know what is going on technically today, but we're having some major technical difficulties. I've got to say we're having some major technical difficulties. The whole entire world is off. Give me just a second. I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. Like, it's just frozen. They've got it frozen on their end. So let me see if I can find another feed. Somebody's got to have a feed. Yeah, I don't even see a live feed. I don't know what else to do for live feeds, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with all this technical crap. Yeah, I really don't. I'll put it in here for
family members, and then in doing that, take it on to a step where Hartford County and our partners can conduct interviews to better understand who the potential subjects are and narrow down that scope. We also use it on, unfortunately, the victim side when we can't identify a victim through any other means, and building out the case.
Can you guys hear that? I don't know why it keeps dropping the stupid audio.
Is there still no sound on the video? I don't even know what to do with it anymore. No sound. Love it. Love this shit. Every freaking day. I love it.
Not that we're familiar with.
No, the computer's been updated. I've been having audio issues.
Thank you all, and again, thank our partners.
There's no way we can say that this is I know there's no sound on anything. I can refresh everything. There's no sound. Can you guys at least hear me? Like I can't, you know, you can hear it. Well, it's too late now. We've already messed up the entire show with all these audio issues. My audio literally stopped 15 times during this press conference. 15 times. Elizabeth, every time I ask if anybody can hear me, you're the only person that says, no, you can't hear me. How can you say, no, you can't hear me if you can't hear me? I'm just asking. How can you answer my question if you can't hear me? Good gracious. Good gracious. So we had a good day. We're ending on a good note. Started out horrible. It was, you know, Summer Wells. Today marks her 3-year milestone. It's been a very emotional day for me, for her. And then we have good news of an arrest in the Rachel Morin case on Summer Wells' 3-year milestone. I think that is awesome. It couldn't get any better than this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having audio issues. Obviously, something is wrong with StreamYard. I don't know what to do at this point because I've got to like literally rebuild an entire show that has been built over 3 years. And I got to do it on a different platform because I am now so terrified of using StreamYard. It's totally unreliable anymore. And I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm just like what the, you know, what else, you know, what else? I will not be attending church tomorrow, just for everybody to know. I don't know when I'm going to be back at church, to be honest with you. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm having a little struggle personally. And, you know, I'm supposed to be leaning on my faith in times like this, but I'm just, you know, frustrated. So say a prayer for me, if you will. There's stuff going on behind the scenes that I don't feel like bringing to here. And it doesn't seem like they're going to stop. So just say a prayer for me, guys. And pray for literally my home, house, car, and me and my safety. And I do appreciate everything from you guys. And we will be back later. But just like I said, I'm having some struggles and I could use some prayers today. So I'll talk to you guys later. God bless each and every one of you. Until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.